What is going on, guys? MJ105 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the real grade Freedom Gundam from Gundam Seed, one of the ZGMF units developed with the technology derived from the captured G weapons. Its performance and final explosion is one above all due to it being nuclear powered. Coming with only 10 runners and 2 decal sheets, it's a pretty lightly loaded real grade. Of course, it only costs 2500 yen and bears the status of an early real grade, so it's on the lowest end of the real grade price spectrum. The build reflects on that too. Using a slightly altered version of the advanced mobile suit joints, the build mainly involves stacking armor pieces on top of the provided endoskeleton, while featuring no undergates to otherwise slow down the very simple and streamlined assembly process in exchange for visual appeal. Caution needs to be exercised on the dart pieces as always, but the build differs little from then real grade standards. After a straightforward snap build, the real grade Freedom looks alright. It's a loss that we reviewed the GCP version first, but from a glance, the real grade Freedom would have looked great for its time, a time when this was the superior 1/144 to scale Freedom kit. That said, color separation has been used heavily to make all the colors of the Freedom in plastic, even down to the tiny red thruster rim on the backpack, which reflects well on the visuals, all except the clear eye and lens piece, which is where the mandatory sticker is used and where blue paint apps are needed. On top of that, the kit is very detailed, so there is plenty to bring out with panel lining, which it essentially screams for as it looks plain without it. Like all real grades, the real grade Freedom is treated with a two-tone white, but the effect is barely visible due to the indistinguishable differences between the two tones, so you might want to enhance it yourself. Proportions and colors respect the original design, but I'm not too sure what to think of the head. The general ferocity is lost in the expression and just comes across as a blank stare. Maybe something like the real grade Stripe Freedom set would look better, but I digress. Overall, I'm having mixed feelings regarding the straight build presentation of the real grade Freedom, but the decals do help a lot in sprucing up the looks. I still think it looks okay, but it definitely doesn't hold a torch to its competitors. For articulation, there is a double jointed neck with an essentially locked bottom joint, and the mullet and chin will clash with the collar when rotating the head. The shoulder armor and shoulders can move up to facilitate the arm raise, while the shoulder thruster can move. The arms can also swing forward and rotate, but it's easy to dislocate the shoulder due to the weak ball joint. There's a bicep rotation, double jointed elbow with some armor separation, a hinge at the forearm, ball jointed wrists, and a knuckle joint, and movable fingers for the articulate finger hands. Front and back crunches are not that good, but the side crunches are decent, while the waist rotation drops the ball yet again. Front, side, and back skirts can all move, and there's a lockable leg drop mechanic in the waist frame. As such, full front splits are possible, while not so much the side splits unless you cheat. There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees with great armor separation, the thruster flap can open up, with a movable thruster inside, and the ankle guard is jointed at the back. There is some wide and flexible ankle movement, and a movable toe with a slightly segmented tip. Finally, the tiny thrusters on the back can move, and the wings can flap and rotate at the base, and open up individually at the 5 segments, while the dark blue pieces can further open up. Altogether, the articulation is great, however, the stability of the kit is the main issue, as some armor pieces like the shoulders and all the joints except the knees are loose right out of the box. Moreover, the little winglets are flimsy as well, and the overall backpack is just finicky to handle. It has the flexibility, but not the fun to pose. In terms of accessories, you get a set of fists, movable finger hands, a right trigger finger hand, and a left grasping hand, on top of the pain in the ass that is the gray piece in the wrist guard. There's also the opening cockpit hatch, and like all real grades before the real grade Zeong, there is a pilot figure included. Weapons start with the Lacerda beam sabers. They're standard in their use and easy to set up by plugging them into the articulate finger hands for use with the included SB1 beams. They don't seem to fall out easily when used separately, but the extra weight added with the coupled mode does make the weapon feel floppy. on top of the holding arm sagging with their use. They can also be stored in the side skirts by plugging the tab into the provided slots, which is secure while the kit is still fresh, but they're the easiest things to knock out, especially because the top of the slot is open. The rest of the weapons are quite standard in their use though. The Lupus beam rifle plugs into the trigger finger hand, while the shield plugs into the elbow with the handle pretending to be held on. They both feature full color separation, which is nice, but the clear scope on the rifle needs a bit of blue. The rifle can be stored on the basket with the tab on its side, and the shield can be adjusted with a hinge and a ball joint, while the handle can be repositioned or stowed away. And once again, the arms just sag while holding the weapons. Next, the Sapphires railguns and Balena plasma cannons can unfold and flip out respectively, the former having fold-out handles, while the latter having a fold at the base for use when the wings are open. Nothing much besides that. While the railguns are not too noteworthy, the beam cannons, just like the wings, are finicky to handle, so do be extra careful with it. Finally, there is a stand adapter that clips onto the crotch, but it can only work with action-based 2s, and since it isn't included, you'll need to get your own. With the weight issues this kit suffers from, you might as well invest in one. So, after 11 years of its release and a complete review session, I'd say the real Great Freedom is frustrating, to say the least. Even more frustrating than the Justice for some reason. You get what you pay for, and with this being a cheaper real grade, I get that, but I'd say just avoid it altogether. The presentation is alright, minus the critique of the unnoticeable two-tone and the clear sensors. There is still some visual merit. The rest of the kit though, because of the poor build stability, frustrating posing experience, weapons always sagging the arm, and the heavy backpack putting up a standing not allowed sign, you might want to get an action-based 2 to mitigate those issues and tighten up some of the joints, but I have no guarantees that it will mitigate all of the issues completely. Sure, if you still find some value in this, especially with the high-grade Cosmic era and the real grade GCP version out in the market now, go ahead, knock yourself out. If not, you'd be better off spending that 2,500 yen somewhere else. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys. Bye bye.